I discovered that my boyfriend, Ethan, was using his business trips as a pretext to meet women from dating apps in various cities. When I quietly moved out while he was away, he returned intoxicated and assaulted my brother-in-law. I met Ethan 3 years ago through mutual friends at a gathering hosted by a colleague. From the outset, he seemed like an incredible person, witty, charismatic, and genuinely attentive when I spoke, unlike many men who seemed to just wait for their turn to talk. We connected instantly and became serious within weeks, spending nearly every night together at either his place or mine by the 6-month mark. Ethan worked in sales for a large construction firm, while I'm employed as a dental hygienist, so our schedules aligned well, allowing us to see each other often. About a year and a half into our relationship, we decided to share an apartment, finding a charming place that suited us both. Life was mostly great. Ethan was outgoing, with a close-knit group of college friends he'd hang out with for game nights or to watch sports. His friends seemed decent enough when I met them, though a couple gave off odd vibes. One, named Derek, would tease Ethan about being tied down now that he had a girlfriend, while another, Ryan, constantly bragged about his casual flings, acting as if being in a relationship was a punishment. About 8 months ago, Ethan's job began requiring more travel as his company expanded into new regions, needing seasoned salespeople to build client relationships. Initially, it was just 1 trip a month for a couple of days, and Ethan was thrilled since it meant better pay and career growth. I supported his ambitions, and the trips didn't disrupt our relationship much at first, but soon they became more frequent, every other week, and longer, stretching to 4 or 5 days. Ethan always shared details about his destinations and clients, texting me during the day and calling from his hotel at night, so I had no initial reason to suspect anything. The extra income from his bonuses allowed us to enjoy nicer outings and restaurants, which was a perk. The first hint of something amiss came about 4 months ago when Ethan returned from a trip acting unusually upbeat, almost overly so for someone who'd supposedly endured tedious business meetings. When I asked, he said he'd secured major clients and was just excited, which seemed plausible, but something about his demeanor felt off. Small things started piling up. He'd shower immediately upon returning home, even if he'd already showered at the hotel. He became guarded with his phone, keeping it face down and grabbing it quickly when it buzzed. And he stopped sharing details about his trips, brushing them off as uneventful. His friends' behavior around me also shifted. They'd fall silent when I entered the room without Ethan, and I noticed Derek and Ryan exchanging glances when Ethan mentioned his travels. When I brought this up, Ethan called me overly sensitive, saying his friends were just being their usual immature selves, but doubts lingered. 6 weeks ago, Ethan announced a week-long trip to Seattle for a critical client deal that could lead to a promotion. He said it would be intense, with daily meetings and evening dinners, so he might not communicate as much. I wished him well, but something felt wrong, though I couldn't pinpoint why. During that trip, contact was minimal, short, vague texts and missed calls, unlike his usual chatty updates. When he returned, he was oddly distant yet overly affectionate, buying me gifts and suggesting fancy dinners as if compensating for something. 2 weeks later, at a game night at our place, I overheard Derek telling Ryan that Ethan needed to be cautious with his phone, and Ryan replied that some women snoop if given the chance. They clammed up when they saw me, but their words confirmed my fears. Ethan was hiding something. That night, I asked Ethan about Derek's comment. He got defensive, claiming Derek was referring to a jealous ex, not us, and told me not to worry about his friend's nonsense. I wanted to trust him, but his evasiveness gnawed at me. I noticed he started taking his phone everywhere, even to the bathroom, and began charging it by his bed instead of the nightstand. Late night and early morning notifications became frequent, which he dismissed as work or friends. The breaking point came last weekend when Ethan was showering and his phone, left on the bed, lit up with a notification from an unfamiliar app, a woman's name, and a message saying she had a great time and couldn't wait to see him again. There was no innocent explanation. The phone was unlocked, and I found a dating app with Ethan's active profile featuring recent photos I'd never seen. Messages with multiple women over months detailed plans for hookups in cities he'd visited for work. I was devastated, realizing the man I loved had been deceiving me. When Ethan saw me with his phone, his face paled. He tried to claim it was just online flirting due to insecurities, but I confronted him with the evidence of meetup plans. He admitted to meeting a few women, calling it a mistake and begging to fix things, but I told him to stay with a friend for a few days while I processed. He pleaded, promising to delete the apps, but I needed space. Ethan's constant texts begging for reconciliation didn't sway me. Was I wrong for checking his phone and confronting him about the dating apps? Update. After discovering Ethan's infidelity, I dug deeper, unable to shake thoughts of his suspicious trips. What I uncovered was worse. While Ethan stayed at Derek's, I accessed his work laptop, where he stored travel confirmations and receipts. His emails revealed discrepancies. The Seattle trip was actually to a different city, with credit card charges for 2 dinners nightly, suggesting he wasn't alone. Hotel bookings for cities with no company clients matched dates from his dating app chats, which I'd screenshotted before he deleted everything. His friends were complicit. Texts between Ethan and Derek showed Derek coaching him on keeping his lies straight. Ryan advised Ethan on hiding app notifications, explaining the game night conversation. Derek even fabricated emergencies to help Ethan dodge women who wanted more time. Ryan had lied to me when I called Ethan during trips, covering for his absences. I felt foolish for trusting them all, especially after defending Ethan to my skeptical friends and family. Confronting Ethan with the evidence, he initially downplayed it but admitted to months of hookups, enabled by his friends. It began after a Chicago trip where he met a woman for drinks leading to a hookup. He claimed it was a one-time thrill, but the ease of secrecy during travel fueled more. He insisted he loved me, saying the flings were purely physical, but I told him the lies and manipulation were as bad as the cheating. His promises to quit traveling and cut off his friends didn't erase the betrayal. I'm staying with my sister, Emma, grappling with ending things and untangling our shared life, feeling that trust is irreparable. Final update. This is likely my last update, as events took a terrifying turn and I want to move forward. After learning Ethan used work trips to cheat, I moved out while he was on an alleged business trip, staying with Emma and her husband, Michael. Ethan bombarded me with calls, texts, and visits to my workplace and Emma's home, despite my requests for space. Emma and Michael were supportive but frustrated by Ethan's persistence, especially when he parked outside their house or called incessantly. I decided to end things permanently, moving out during his trip to avoid confrontation. With Emma and Michael's help, I rented a truck, packed my belongings, closed our joint account, and canceled utilities in my name. I left Ethan a letter stating our relationship was over and that I'd handle logistics later but needed no contact. He returned to find the apartment half empty and lost it, leaving frantic voicemails. Shocked I'd left, Ethan didn't stop, driving by Emma's house and calling repeatedly. Saturday evening, he and Derek showed up drunk at Emma's door, demanding to see me. Emma lied, saying I wasn't there. I was upstairs. But Ethan, spotting my car, forced his way inside, yelling my name. Michael intervened, ordering Ethan to leave. Ethan insisted on talking, claiming it was a misunderstanding. Derek supported him, calling me unreasonable. Tensions escalated when Michael blocked Ethan from the stairs, leading Ethan to shove him. When Michael grabbed Ethan's arm, Ethan punched him, splitting Michael's lip. I rushed downstairs, terrified, as Emma called 911. I stalled Ethan, pretending we could talk, while Michael got ice. Ethan claimed Michael provoked him, but when police arrived, Emma and I detailed his trespassing and assault. They arrested Ethan and questioned Derek. Ethan begged me from the police car, claiming it was a mistake. Michael needed ER care but was okay, just bruised. Emma was shaken, realizing how quickly things escalated. Ethan's lawyer wants the charges dropped, but Michael and I are pursuing the assault case to hold him accountable. I'm seeking a restraining order, fearing Ethan's volatility. I'm staying with Emma and Michael while apartment hunting, taking time off work to handle legal matters and heal. This ordeal has been a whirlwind, but I'm grateful for support and urge others to trust their instincts and prioritize safety. I never imagined my relationship could turn violent, underscoring the need for exit plans and support systems, even when things seem stable.